Okay traders, so you're looking to pick which prop firm to use. How do you go about choosing the right one for you as a trader? I'm going to go through my checklist today on what I look for when I'm purchasing a new prop firm challenge, or perhaps I'm looking to venture out and trade with a firm I've never traded with before. What are the different things on my checklist that I need to be ticked for me to purchase and spend my hard-earned money? That is what I'm going to cover in this video. So I have it on a little notepad here, and I'm going to go through exactly how I find which firm to use. I've traded with many firms in the past few years. I've been trading with prop firms since 2021. So it has been coming up on 5 years now of trading with prop firms. I've seen the best firms and I've also seen the worst firms. I've had payouts rejected. I've had firms shut down on me, and I've also had over 6 figures in payouts. So I feel like I've got a good idea on which firms are good, which firms are bad, and how to identify those from each other. So I'm using Prop Firm Match for this to go through a comparison for different firms. The reason I'm not going on an individual firm's website is because I'd have to do that for every single firm. I'm using Prop Firm Match to go through and see all the different firms in one place. It makes it so much easier when you are choosing which firm to go with. And let's say I do pick a firm that I see on Prop Firm Match. You can go over to the offers page and you can get exclusive discounts using Prop Firm Match codes. As you see, match is usually the code match5, match CM. And you can get 55% off, 45% off, 20% off. But for now, we are going to go onto the challenge page to go through the top firms on my checklist. So you can see here, we're going to start with drawdown type. This is something that is very important to me and something that you also need to consider. I've had it in the past where the drawdown type has been based on equity, and I've lost out on over $28,000 in profits, even though the account was in profits when I blew the account. If it is equity based, it goes from the equity on the account. So I was in profits around $25,000. Price then actually dropped a bit. I technically lost 5% in equity, although the trade was still in profit, but that counts as a 5% daily drawdown, so the account was technically blown. So that's why now I'll only go with balance-based drawdown. So when you actually click on a firm, let's say the fivers here, you can see they also have their highest at the end of day. This is something that I don't like to use, but if I'm not holding overnight, and I know I'm not going to be holding overnight, then that is completely okay with me. But if you are someone who does hold overnight, or perhaps over the weekend, then this is something you need to consider. Next, drawdown limits. So when I'm talking about limits, I'm talking about the daily loss and the overall loss. I have always traded with a 5 and 10, so 5% daily loss, 10% overall loss. And as you see here, some firms will be 3% daily loss, 6% max loss, but I'm a trader who likes to risk slightly more than the average 1%. So having only 3% is not the best way for me to actually profit. And you will often see the lower the drawdown, the cheaper the challenge. So if you are someone who wants to buy a cheap challenge, then you might have to put up with that low drawdown. Again, the lower the drawdown, the higher the chance of you failing. So if you are able to get a good price and have all the other features as well in a firm, and you can get a good discount code, then you can get a good offer. But I'll always go with a 5 and 10%. It's just the industry standard. It's the same that I've been using since 2021, so I'm used to it. And if you don't have to change, there's no point in changing. So that is also something that I heavily consider when I am looking at taking a firm. Next, trading platform. This one is, I'd say, less important, but you can open it up and see the different platforms that are actually available with each firm. As you see, Funding Pips has CTrader, MT5, and Match Trader. This isn't really much of a concern because if you can enter a trade, if you can enter a long, you know how to do your risk management, how to place or take profit. Every platform is basically the same. If you are using certain trade copiers, this is also something to consider because certain trade copiers won't have certain platforms. So you need to keep an eye on this before you purchase a challenge. But most of them will offer MetaTrader, CTrader, platforms that everyone has used if they have traded with prop firms. So it's not really a big concern if it doesn't have a certain platform because it will have another one that you're probably used to. Next one, very important, pricing. So you can see here, it has the price before discount, and then it also has the discounted price. So you can see the average for a 100K challenge before discount is around $450 to $500. But if you are able to get an offer, you can go on offers page, you can find the offers. You're able to get a challenge for quite a good price. And if you're able to get a good discount, maybe $100 off or something like that, then it means that you have more of a buffer if you do pass and get a payout. If $1,000 is only split up to 2 challenges rather than 3, you obviously have more pressure on yourself, and it's more financial pressure if you do fail those 2 challenges. Whereas let's say you fail 2, but you still got another third one that takes you up to that $1,000, then you still have that buffer to play with. Pricing, again, you're getting what you pay for usually. Firms that have a higher price tend to be the firms that have been around for longer. They have that reputation, so they are able to charge that price. Firms that are usually cheaper are newer firms. They want to get into the industry, they want to give you good offers so that they will be picked. But again, you do have the higher risk of not being paid out, and usually there's a reason why that firm is cheaper. So it could be a certain rule, it could be a certain trading condition or payout structure. Again, usually you get what you pay for, and if you are looking at something that is suspiciously cheap, then it probably is something you should stay away from. I've previously bought challenges for $100, $180, and I've made over $10,000 as a result of that $180 investment. But again, that could have gone differently and that could have been rejected. The firm could have shut down. As we know, it does happen quite a lot. Now, payout frequency. Usually firms will be 14 days. As you see here, it does show you on demand or weekly, 14 days on demand, 10 business days, 21 days and 14 days. Usually it's bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks you will get a payout. And if a firm's like, oh, well, we're only paying you out every 30 days, I'd be like, that's not really something that I want to do. The main reason, the more time you're spending on that account, the higher the chance of you losing your profits, which is what they want. They don't want you to be able to withdraw instantly, which is why you can't on most firms. And usually if you do get access to on-demand payouts, this will include certain rules with consistency rules. You can't just win one trade and then get a payout. You can't just win one trade and wait 5 days to get a payout. No, they'll usually force you to have a certain consistency over your trades. So it could be you can't make more than 30% of your profits on one trade or on one singular day, which means that you have to trade more, which means you're more likely to lose, which is how they get you. But if you find a firm that says you have bi-weekly payouts, it doesn't matter your consistency, you can just win a trade, wait 13 days, get the payout and repeat the cycle, then that is perfect for you, as it gives you a chance to make your profits within that 2 week period. Then you perhaps have a few days without trading and then you're back to trading again. Next one, profit splits. Again, this isn't really that important now. You'll see that basically every firm has 80% or higher. It used to be 70% was the standard, now it's 80%. Some firms even offering up to 90%, but usually 80% is the standard now, so that's not really a concern. Now, acceptable rules. So if you click on a firm here like the Fivers, you can see their rules. You see everything's basically allowed with this firm, and stop loss required, no, that is a good thing. Some people don't read the rules when they are taking a challenge and they get caught out on the stop loss required rule. What this basically means is that when you enter a trade, you have to have a stop loss as you're entering the trade. So you can't add it 5 seconds after, that account is then blown, which you need to be very careful on, because imagine you fail, not because you lost trades or you hit the drawdown, but because you forgot to place a stop loss when you entered the trade. It'd be a very silly way to lose your challenge fee. But again, overnight holding doesn't really affect me. Weekend holding doesn't affect me. I don't use EAs, I don't copy trade, I don't news trade. So for me, it's not really as relevant. But for other people who perhaps swing trade, you want to trade through news, you want to copy trade through multiple accounts, you want to use an EA, these things matter. So go through the rules and see exactly how that does suit your trading. So as you see here, if you look at top 1 trader, they have quite a low leverage in relation to other prop firm challenges. Usually the standard is 1 to 100, but this one has a 1 to 30. So perhaps if you are using really tight stop losses and 2%, 3% risk, you might not even be able to place your trades. So that's part of the rules and that's something you need to consider. And also you see here, stop loss is required on entry of a trade. Keep that in mind. And also the last point I look out for is good reviews. This kind of goes in the same column as trading conditions, because you can only work out the actual trading conditions from the reviews. So I go over to the reviews platform over here, and now we can see trading conditions, customer care, user friendliness, and payout process. Then it gives an overall rank. And you can obviously view the individual reviews and go through and see everything. But overall, you can kind of get a good idea of, is this firm good? And does it have a good amount of reviews? because you can see here that this one is 4.4 stars, which is quite good overall, but it's not many reviews compared to one that has almost 1,000 reviews, then it's 4.8 stars. So it gives you a good impression that this firm is probably one that is quite good to trade with. And I'll mainly look out for trading conditions and payouts. Customer care and user friendliness is not really as important, but you also need to think about, if you do have a problem, will you actually get it sorted? So you can go through the reviews and see, are the customer support team actually good? And obviously the main hope is that you never have a problem, but it is possible. So that's something you have to consider. But one thing very important, trading conditions. If you see red in trading conditions, it's probably best to stay away from that firm, because trading conditions can ruin your trading. If you think about it, trying to risk 1% on a trade, perhaps you have slippage on your entry, a slippage on your exit, then you're losing an extra, let's say 0.1, 0.2% per trade, which means over 5 trades, you're losing an extra 1%. So out of your 10% max drawdown, you lose 5 trades, you've now lost 6%. So you're losing 10% of your max drawdown for every 5 trades, which you don't want to do. It's an easy way that prop firms are allowing you to trade like normal, not thinking anything's going wrong, but they're actually secretly eating away at your profits because of the bad trading conditions, which you don't want in your trading. There's an easy fix to just trade with a firm that has good trading conditions. Overall, that is what I look for when I'm choosing a prop firm. Check out Prop Firm Match, the link down below, to get your discounts on prop firms. And it's how I find my prop firms now and how I get the discounts to never ever pay full price. So if you did enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel and I'll catch you guys in the next one.